Hey, what's up, you guys, and welcome back to Model Behavior. It's Macy. You might be thinking, if you're watching on video, Macy, where are you right now? I am in the Lagree studio. Yes, I know. I have been so busy the past 6 weeks, you guys, and I know I feel like I say that every episode, and I know that everybody is busy, okay? I know it's not just me. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where to look. New setup. But I truly have barely had a second to breathe the last 6 weeks. And you guys know I like to record when it's light outside when I'm at home because the lighting situation is way better at home. I've not been at home when it's light outside in weeks. Okay. And I have wanted to talk to you guys so bad. I've missed you so much. So I was like, you know what? We're going to do a little bit of a episode on the go today. I'm literally sitting on a megaformer right now. I'm about to teach in about an hour, but I got done with my work a little bit early. So I just decided to come to the studio a little bit early so I could shoot some content and then record an episode. And oh my gosh, it feels so good to talk to you guys. 2026 has been off to an insane start, and I want to talk to you guys about it before I teach my class. So, first of all, I hope you guys have been having an amazing year so far. It's mid-February now. Valentine's Day weekend just passed, and I have so much I need to talk to you guys about. Oh my gosh. So, since we last spoke at the beginning of January, I guess I recorded that episode like over New Year's Eve. So much has happened. First of all, I've tried to sit down and record an episode a couple of different times, but my phone storage has filled up or I got interrupted with calls, things like that. And so I just haven't been able to sit down and record a complete episode. Since we last spoke, I have been to Scottsdale twice. I have been to several hockey games. I got cast for a major commercial campaign. Went to Austin to film that. Where else have I gone? Oh my gosh. It has just been an insane past few weeks, okay? So I'm home this week. Next week, I'm flying to Hawaii for Margot's wedding. I'm home for a week in between then. And then the following week, I fly to Scottsdale for Lindsay's wedding. I'm telling you guys, with the wedding stuff, I love my friends so much. And also, this is a really special year because Lindsay and Margot, my two friends that are getting married, are just dear, dear friends of mine, and I love them so much. And so it's really, really special. But being a bridesmaid in two weddings, maid of honor in one of them, is no joke, you guys. There's been so much that's been going on, and I love weddings, okay? But I notoriously roll solo to weddings. And we're going to get into that in a second. But first, I want to tell you guys about the commercial. So I got cast in this commercial for this fitness brand. And so I last minute had to fly to Austin, Texas to film this. And it was my first commercial. And you guys, it was so much fun. I'd never done any on-camera work like that before. On film, I guess you could say. I've done a lot of print stuff. So I feel like when it comes to e-com, when it comes to like commercial shoots, things like that for modeling, I feel like I kind of have that down, especially with the market that I'm in. But this was like a whole different ball game. The scale of this production was insane. We had a fitting. It was a multiple day shoot. It was so hectic and also just really, really fun. And I did better than I thought I was going to. I always have said, like, I'm not an actor. Like, when I've had callbacks, like virtual callbacks for commercials and things like that, I always feel so awkward. But something that I learned from being on set like that was that everybody, like, you're on a time crunch, okay? Like, everybody is trying their best to get all of the takes that they want, all the shots that they want. And so you got to take it seriously, girl. Like, there's no room for giggling. Like, hee hee hee. Like, you know, my favorite things growing up were those in those Disney Channel movies at the end when they roll the credits and then they have those bloopers, those like fake bloopers where they're like, oh my gosh, like, let's start again. Blah. Like, I always thought that that's what it was going to be like. It was not like that, okay? People meant business. I also like befriended the other models and I guess the other talent is what it's called. But yeah, it was just like super fun. And then I went to Scottsdale for Lindsay's bachelorette party, which is it was a ball. Like, it was so fun. Oh my gosh, we got a party bus. We had this huge mansion in Paradise Valley with a big pool. We hired Cabana Boys one day. We just went out with the girls. I taught a yoga class, which was kind of silly goofy because I'm a frequent goer of yoga, but really only like core power. So I feel like that doesn't really count. But I'm not a yoga teacher, but Lindsay asked me to teach a class and I actually did kind of a good job. I will say I kind of ate, but anyways, if you're watching, I have a 20-ounce coffee here. I have never gotten a venti from Starbucks in my life. I have a 20-ounce iced pistachio latte. It's a little bit sweet, but I feel like since I added the protein milk to it, it's fine. It doesn't count. Anyways, so honestly, life has been so good, you guys. At the same time, I have also been going through kind of an existential crisis with my work. My contract with my job is up in about a year, my research job. And I love being a scientist. I've talked to you guys about this before. I love my work. I love what I do. The project that I'm working on at work right now is literally like the biggest thorn in my side. Like I honestly have gotten to the point with this research project that I just like hate looking at it. Like anytime I have to open up this paper to edit it, I'm like, I can't stand this. But I've really been trying to shift my perspective a little bit on that because it's necessary. I need to publish this paper and I need to do a good job. But yeah, my contract is up in a year and things with the research world are very bad right now. Funding is really bad. People are getting fired. Funding's getting cut like crazy. Nobody's hiring. So I'm kind of at a point in my life where I'm kind of like, what do I want to do next? What does that look like? I know I love research, but I also know that I'm not a huge fan of the isolation that it breeds. Basically, like I'm by myself for large swaths of time, all day, every day. And so in my next position, I'd like to do something a little bit more dynamic, maybe something more public facing, media focused. I really have no idea, but I've just been trying to figure that out, just doing a lot of praying, doing a lot of talking to my friends and family, and just kind of trying to figure out next steps because I love living in Fort Collins, but at the same time, I kind of feel like I've just been praying and I'm like, you know what, God, like if it's time for me to move on somewhere else, like I'm ready for it. Like I'm ready for what you have. So girl, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, so my second trip to Scottsdale, I went to the Waste Management Open. Waste Management Phoenix Open, which if you're not familiar, that is a big professional golf tournament that happens. It's also affectionately nicknamed the Wasted Management Open. It's a huge party. It's very different from any other event on the PGA Tour. Not that I've ever been to any other event on the PGA Tour, but Lindsay and Harrison, her fiance, who she's getting married to in less than a month, they live like less than a mile from the golf course that it's held at. So I got to go this year and it was so fun. The first day, Lindsay had some suite tickets, or I guess skybox tickets is what they're called, through her work. So I went with her, which was so awesome. And I met some of her coworkers and things like that. And that was the celebrity round. So I got to see Travis Kelce and Michael Phelps and Zach Top were the main guys, as well as like all of like the big golfers like Brooks Koepka and Scotty Scheffler, all of those guys. It was so much fun. And then the second day, I wasn't going to go a second day. And then I decided to go back because I had so much fun the first day and I wanted to watch a little bit more golf. So the second day, Lindsay couldn't come with me because she had to work. But I got a GA ticket and just went by myself. And I ended up getting a spot in the second row on the 16th hole, which is like the biggest like hole. I guess it's not the biggest hole. It's only a par 3, but like it is like the most famous hole at TPC Scottsdale during the Waste Management Open. If you've seen pictures, it like has those grandstands all around it and people are just partying. Like when someone gets a hole in one, everybody throws their beer on the course, which like no one got a hole in one this year, but I had a freaking blast. And I really carefully picked out where I was going to sit because I feel like I've talked about this to you guys before, but I complained about male sports fans on here before, but really it's kind of sucks going to sports events as a girl by yourself because men tend to drink too much and then they tend to make advances at you that are unwelcome. Even if they're nice guys, like they're just going to drink too much. Not all, huge generalization here. So when there is GA at a sporting event, when there's general admission seating, I pick my spot extremely carefully. Usually I try to identify an older couple that's like best possible opportunity there, or just a couple of any kind. Rarely will you see groups of girls, although I did run into some groups of girls this day, which was so fun. So I ended up sitting next to an older couple, and this older couple immediately adopted me, and they literally just immediately started buying me drinks, which was crazy, and food too. Like anytime they went to get a drink, anytime they went to get food, they would just get me one. And the guy who was doing like the beer vending in our section was literally standing right next to us, so it was kind of convenient. And then on my other side, a guy and his son ended up sitting right next to me. And the son, his name is Cameron. He was 6 years old, so freaking cute. And we kind of developed like this, like, friend group, like this camaraderie in our section. And so I kind of got on this. We really wanted to get Cameron some golf balls from the players. And on this day, it was the first round. The hole, because they move where the hole is around the green, the hole was literally right in front of where we were sitting. It was insane. And so then the players would walk in right underneath the grandstand where we were sitting. So it was like the perfect opportunity. So we were all, even the beer guy, Richard, was in on this, okay? We were all like, hey, like, throw him a ball, throw him a ball. And I kind of figured it out pretty quick because I figured this out at hockey games too. Like, if you want a puck during warm-ups, you don't look at the players because they're busy, they're focused. You look at the ice cleanup crew afterwards, because those are the guys that are not nervous or focused on playing a game. They're just cleaning up the ice. So the one puck that I did get at an Avs game, it was because I made eye contact with one of the ice crew and he threw me a puck. So my idea with golf was similar. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to like try to get the players' attention. I'm going to try to get the caddy's attention. And that worked beautifully. So what I would do is when they walked up to the green, I would try to get the caddy's attention just by waving, and then I would point at Cameron because he's so freaking cute. He's like really little. He had red hair and freckles, and he was just like this big smile. He was so cute. So I would point to Cameron, and then the caddy would nod, okay? And then after the player was done with his hole, the caddy would get the player's attention. The player would come over, and then he would give Cameron a ball. I'm not even kidding you guys. We got Cameron probably 10 balls, okay? It was insane. He was like our little section mascot. It was such a fun time. And the older couple sitting next to me ended up leaving after a bit. But every time I caught a ball for Cameron, his dad would buy me a beer. And I'm not a huge drinker, you guys. This day was crazy. I had so much fun. But that night, I was not feeling it. I was unwell, okay? All in all, though, very worth it. And I think I had probably like the most primo waste management open experience you could have, doing the skybox one day and then just amongst the people, second row, GA, 16th hole the second day. Like, it was literally, it was awesome. And I got to watch some amazing golf. And oh my gosh, you guys, I got to see like all of the big names, and it was just amazing. So I do have these weddings coming up. So I kind of wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about like my feelings about that, and just like being single, going to a lot of weddings. Lindsay and Margot's wedding are going to be, I think, the 5th and 6th, or the 6th and 7th weddings that I've been a bridesmaid in. I'm Margot's maid of honor. And I feel very blessed to have that many close friends. And every wedding that I've been in, it has been like such an honor to celebrate my friends. Something about being a bridesmaid makes you feel like you are it's the ultimate wingwoman position, right? Especially maid of honor, because you are fully dedicated to making sure that your friend has the best possible experience. Obviously, she's already getting married, so you're not really wingwomaning, but I will say, as a self-proclaimed professional wingwoman, a lot of the duties and a lot of the way you carry yourself is very similar to wingwomaning. In traditional wingwomaning, you and your girls get dressed. You go to a bar. Usually your friend has a crush that she knows is going to be there, okay? And as a wingwoman, it is your job to put her in the best possible position to talk to this guy. I think a lot of times wingwomen can get confused about their duties by thinking that a mission is failed if the two don't end up dating. As someone who has been very successful at wingwomaning in the past and has gotten the two to date, okay, your friend and the guy or whoever, I will say that that is not the main goal of wingwomaning, because at the end of the day, and we've talked about this so much on this podcast before, you always have the element of chance. You have the element of random chance, okay? So statistically, you can never guarantee an outcome. But your job as a wingwoman is to put your friend in the best possible position to talk to this guy, and whatever happens after that is up to her and it's up to him. And like I've told my friends before, what if you talk to the guy and you end up not liking him? Like, what if he has a weird personality? Or what if his laugh is weird? Or what if you guys just don't vibe? You know what I mean? So when it comes to weddings, it's a similar goal, except for the fact you are fully dedicated to making sure that your girl has the best day possible, okay? And that is infinitely more complicated when you consider things like family members, or family members with kids. People's families are crazy, you guys. And so, like, oh my gosh, I will say, like, I do think I have become excellent at what I do as a wingwoman. But there is a part of me that feels a little bit sad sometimes, particularly with Margot's wedding coming up. It is a destination wedding. It is in Hawaii. All of the girls are bringing their boyfriends. They're bringing their husbands. It's a romantic vacation for them, a romantic getaway. I am the only single person going to this wedding, okay? I am not even kidding you guys. Everybody else that is going out of like 150 people, everyone else is coupled up, okay? And that's not something that usually gets me down because I know I've been very intentional about my dating life in my whole life, and I've made decisions and walked away from things that I know weren't good for me because I knew that I could be more effective on my own. And even though being alone can be scary and lonely sometimes, it's always been worth it for me up to this point. But sometimes you're like, why am I always like this amazing wing woman and nobody's wing womaning for me? And I'm talking about just generally in life. And that's something that has been tough for me. So I was thinking today about talking about this topic, and I wanted to reframe my mindset a little bit. And I've been thinking about recent times that I've wing womaned for my friends, like actually for real, like on a night out, and ways that I've gamified it and made it fun for myself. Okay. And the number one most important thing that I came away with when I was thinking about this was that you have to make it fun. And within that, you have to make yourself a part of the plot, okay? So if you are always the side character in this wing womaning plot, you are not going to always feel motivated to wing woman, okay? And the thing about it is, wing womaning ultimately is not about you. Yes, if your life was a movie, you would be the best friend in this particular chapter. However, how many times have you read a novel and there's some side character that you're freaking obsessed with that is part of the main character's plot, but then that side character gets a spin-off show, okay? The way I try to look at it is it's building me up for my spin-off show. So what kind of silly mischief can you get into? What kind of silly pranks can you play on the guy? When we're talking about weddings, what silly stories can you make up in your mind about your own spin-off show? So for example, I'm going to be in Hawaii, okay? I'm going to be very busy with wedding duties pretty much the entire time I'm there. But I will be looking for ways to make myself a spin-off show, okay? I will be the main character in my spin-off show. And I think that because you start out your story as a wing woman, it actually takes a lot of the pressure off of you when you're thinking about meeting a guy or finding a potential partner, because I know my alter ego as a wing woman is crazy, okay? Like, yes, I'll be demure. Yes, my approach will be measured. But when someone needs to make something happen, when someone needs to play a little prank, when someone needs to be bold and put themselves out there, it's going to be me, especially if I'm doing it for one of my friends. If I'm doing it for myself, I'm going to be a little less bold, you know? Like, you're a little bit more nervous. You're a little bit more in your head. But when you're wing womaning, that version of myself is insane, okay? And if you've done this before, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you will do whatever it takes to make sure that you get your friend and this guy in the same room together. Anyways, so those are my thoughts about gamifying wing womaning, because when you are in that extremely bold mindset, when you are in your wing woman alter ego, you're less self-conscious, okay? You're not all in your head thinking, what does he think about me? Because that's not even part of the story. It's like, how do I get my friend to be her best, most authentic self in front of this guy, okay? Whether or not it works out, how do you get that to happen? And because you're in that mindset, ultimately, inevitably, side plots will develop because other characters in that fake movie of your life, okay, it's a real fake movie of your other characters in your fake movie of your life are going to notice that vibe that you're putting out, okay? And then you can lead with that wing woman vibe into your own main character story. I've been thinking about this also because this past weekend was Valentine's Day, and I, for the first time in my life, had a date for Valentine's Day. Now, this is a guy that I've been on a couple of dates with, and it's early days, so I don't really know where it's going to go. I don't really know what's happening there. But I will say that having a date on Valentine's Day felt incredible. I have literally never been on a date on Valentine's Day. My previous relationships were long distance, and so we were always apart on Valentine's Day. And it was so nice. he took me out to a beautiful dinner. We had great conversation. Then we went out to my favorite rooftop afterwards and got drinks. And there was a jazz pianist playing, and it was honestly like so romantic and so perfect. And it was a great date, okay? And it made me think about this, like, I've always been in this wing woman energy, okay? Just because I've been single for so long, and I'm just always been the kind of person that's pretty decisive. Like, I don't like giving guys chances that I know it's not going to potentially work out with. But being on that date kind of allowed me to let my guard down, and also allowed me to kind of think, okay, like, how do I make things happen for myself? Like, I'm always making things happen for my friends and for other people, and I'm happy to do it, and I will continue to do it. Case in point, these 2 weddings coming up. So excited, can't wait. But I'm also thinking, like, how do I prioritize my own plot a little bit more? And so being on that date really got me thinking about that and thinking about these weddings coming up. And yeah, basically, I'm just excited to kind of be keeping an eye out for whatever my plot is going to be, whatever my spin-off show is going to be. And trying to carry that wingwoman energy into this spin-off show, because I still want to be that person that is bold and will take chances and isn't in her head thinking about, oh, what does he think about me? And so that is something that I'm very intentionally trying to work on in the next few weeks. So I'm trying to think of other updates. I know you guys probably want a dating update. You probably want some crazy dating stories. I'm going to be so honest. I have not been on that many dates in the past few months. Okay. I just really haven't. I'm going to try to put myself out there a little bit more. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, girl, I just don't have any crazy boy updates as of now, except for that one Valentine's Day date that was so lovely. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I need to go practice my sequence for my class coming up. I know it was a little bit of a shorter episode today, but I'm just so grateful that I got to sit down and talk to you guys. And I want to hear your thoughts on being a good wing woman. What do you think being a good wing woman entails? Also, how do you weave your own storyline into that? So yeah, with that, I'm going to head out. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I can't wait to talk to you in the next episode. Bye.